Ding 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 do. Hi, my name is Eric, and today I'm going to show you how to take an ordinary piece of plywood like this and turn it into your custom beer pong table that'll impress all your friends.
Well, Eric, what do I need to make a beer pong table?
Well, Pablo, I'll tell you what you need to make a good beer pong table. First off, the plywood. You go to Home Depot, buy an 8x4 piece of plywood. They'll cut it down the middle for you, ask for two 8x2 pieces of plywood, and they'll chop it down the middle for you at the store. The second thing you'll need is some legs. Foldable legs like this. You can buy them, they're called folding table legs. They only cost about $16. Third thing you'll need, power drill. Drill the screws into the bottom of the table. I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. Start the table off. We're going to need some sandpaper, a paintbrush, something to hold the paint in, some primer, which you're going to put on before you start doing the actual painting, whatever painting supplies you need to do the color scheme. Then last, you're going to need some polyurethane, polyacrylic coating to make it waterproof at the very end, and of course, some painter's tape. Okay, once you decide to start, you take the legs out of your box, you assemble them, you put them on top of the plywood that you have, measure about 16 inches in from the back, and about 7.5, 8 inches in from each side. Take your power drill and the screws, line it up where you need it. After you do the last drill, drilling in the legs, take the table off whatever you're drilling with. It's really light. Flip it over. There we go. Set it down on the ground. Now we're ready to start sanding it down. You're going to take your sandpaper out of whatever you have it in. Just start on the table. Start going back and forth in a rubbing motion. Just going to bring the top layer of the wood down a little bit, make it a little more fine so it's easier to paint. After you finish sanding, wipe all the dust off with a damp cloth. Put it aside. Now you start priming up the table. Take the primer you had, pry the top off with a screwdriver. You got to mix it thoroughly. I've already been mixing this for a few minutes. After you mix it up, take your thing you're going to hold your paint in, pour some of the primer in, like that. Take a canister over here and your paintbrush. Get some paint on the paintbrush, some primer rather. Start wherever. Start doing even strokes on the table. Alright, now after you've finished coating the whole table with primer, make sure you get down here on the sides. I've already done it up, but make sure you color the sides in here with the primer, because in case you want to paint the whole thing, you've got to make sure you cover the whole area. And it takes probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours to dry until you want to do another coat. Once you allow time for the primer to dry, it'll be dry to the touch. Probably took about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we're ready to do another coat of paint on it. And we're ready to go. One other thing I forgot to mention is before you start, always put newspapers down on the ground, because the paint and primer will have a tendency to drip on the ground. If you're working in a garage, we have a floor that you really care about. This one we don't really, but just use newspapers anyway. You're going to want to put some newspapers down. After the first coat of the primer is dried, you want to start with your second coat. So do everything the same you did to put the first coat on. Start with the paintbrush. Just continue doing those even strokes all the way up and down the table. Alright, now we're going to start doing the, put the painter's tape down to make the lines. You can see on this table right here, I have the lines going up and down and make the triangle. For the make the lines, I'm going to measure 1 inch in from the side. The painter's tape is approximately 1 inch wide. So you're going to start with the painter's tape, attach it to the bottom of the table, bring it up. Just run the tape all the way down straight. Just kind of eyeball it, make sure it's approximately straight. Put the tape down, take your scissors, cut the bottom off, make sure it's still straight, tape it under. Then make sure when you're painting that none of the paint leaks under where you want to get your line to be. Rub your hand over the painter's tape like that and make sure it's down all the way and secure. The next step we're going to do with our painter's tape is we're going to measure out where we're going to have the triangle. Wherever you position your triangle, you want to have it be in the middle of the table. The triangle that we're going to do is going to be 16 inches wide like so, and 14 inches from the back to the top of the triangle. That'll accommodate a 10-cup rack. Take your pen, mark where you're going to have the 3 points of the triangle be on the table. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put the painter's tape down. One thing you got to remember is when you're cutting the painter's tape, is cut at an angle like this. Once again, make sure the tape's flattened down so you don't have any paint coming in on the outside. And do that for both sides, then you can finally start painting. After you have all the painter's tape put down, then you can start painting the base color that you're going to do. Base color I'm going to have in this part of the table is going to be black. So pour your paint into the container you have. Make sure it's stirred up beforehand. And then just start doing as you did earlier with the primer. Just start doing even strokes up and down the table. Just do that until you fill the entire table up. Alright, when you start painting by the where you put the painter's tape down, do the smooth up and down motion by it. And you can go ahead and just cover up the painter's tape, because it doesn't matter, because at the end you're just going to rip it off. But before you start painting, like I said earlier, just make sure the painter's tape's down nice and tight so none of the paint bleeds through where you want to have a different color. After the first coat of the paint is dried, you go ahead and start the second one. It took a little longer, it's cold out. If it's colder, it'll take longer to dry. It took about 2.5 to 3 hours to dry.
Filming his fucking creations.
After the paint is dried, you can finally take off the painter's tape. Holy shit, that looks fucking clean, dude. Oh my god, that's awesome. So you get both of them on.
$20 a table, baby.
Oh
Come
my
and get
goodness.
Wow.
And then you have perfectly clean lines like so.
What? Yeah!
After you take the rest of the painter's tape off, you want to fill in the unpainted area here with our third color, which is going to be white. So do like you did last time, start with the painter's tape and line it up outside of the unpainted area. You're just going to want to take this, run it all the way down, and line it up so that you have a perfect line. And it covers the black area right now. Then we're going to go ahead and paint over this area white. Do it the same on this side right here also, and then outside the triangle, and then you can start painting. Alright, now it's time to paint the triangles. We're going to paint those white. We have our white paint right here. It's already been mixed up. I'm going to use a little smaller paintbrush right here because we don't have to cover such a large area. Dip the paintbrush in just like that. Nice. Start doing your smooth and even strokes as we've been doing the whole time. Start painting that triangle. Yeah, that's looking great. Oh yeah. Nice. Once the first layer of the white paint is dried, you can go ahead and start the second layer like we've been doing the whole time. Do the same process. Now that the white lines is dried, you can take the painter's tape off. Just take both pieces of painter's tape, just pull it off even, and we'll reveal a perfect line going right down the side there. Once taking the last of your painter's tape off, then you can start doing the design you want to have on your table. You can either use a stencil and make your own design, or you can do what I did for this table and buy stickers off, automotive stickers off either eBay or some other website. This table, I decided to do a Playboy table. Use the Playboy bunny logo. Did different colors on the thing right there. I already started doing a little bit of the gloss right here, which is our next step. And it's the last step, get some of the protective finish. You want to, do what you've been doing the whole time. Dip it in. Start going over. You just go smoothly over the stickers, because it'll protect the stickers from warping or anything like that. And yeah, do 2 coats of this, and then you're ready to party.